Hello, welcome to a new stream where I'm actually looking at my own stream and unhost some people. Like sometimes it doesn't switch actually. Looking at myself on stream. It's actually fast. Anyway, we're live with oxygen not included. New update. Again, I don't know even how old the update is. It's the quality of life Mark 1. Wait a minute. It was like a quality. Oh, it's open for testing. Yeah, makes sense. We'll open in a week and 4 days. Notify me? Nah, let's not click that. Let's resume cycle 127? We will see, and otherwise we won't, and just start a new game. It's nice to actually look at it, to see what has changed, or basically what hasn't changed. No. Open overlapping ports. Are you saying that the game is running even worse? Ooh, great new build orders for the selected buildings. What? Oh, that's cool. You can copy now. Ah yes, this has changed as well. How far are we on the research? For one part I just don't want to play the save game at this point. Because I have no idea what we were actually doing. On the other hand, we are rather far into this. But always a nice thing about oxygen not included that you can just start over and doesn't really matter. So I will actually go to the main menu. It should keep the save actually, so I can always visit it another time. In season like number 9, I guess. I don't even know what we are on. But it's a new game. Let's get a no sweat. You know, it's not really a challenge at that point to do it like this. But at least we can just continue the game, you know. Like there's no point watching a stream where there's basically nothing happening. Like for example, Minecraft. At least it did that. Server that we have, the mod pack that we have. I wonder what happens when I turn. Holy shit. It's actually bad. I can make it blue or red. Yeah. I'll make it green. That way green screen works actually good. Yeah. So yeah. What do we want? Plus forward learning, minus read learning, digging and kindness, with athletics, crunching and tinkering, kindness and strength. This is basically good. Narcoleptic, doesn't really matter. Squeamish, cannot care. Slow learner, happens. You are a cook, you like to art, and you would like to dig. Your strength. The Trichik burrow, why not? Why not just use this? Alert. We have an alert, so let's pause the game first. So we have water here, we have a little bit of water there. So I guess the best bit is to expand to this place. By digging some of this. and skulls. We all know that. Okay, no outhouse built. There's some little updates, even between the big updates. Yeah. So we want a way to store our stuff. Keep that going. We also want a way to get up. And do this. What's this? One thing I should probably look at first is I have no understanding of Twitch and their hosting. It's kind of weird. Hello, Marty. Welcome. We actually have the right title. Yes, we do. Yes, let's give him a warm welcome. I actually need to have a sound for that. Look at how like smooth this game is running. Yeah, we are on better speed, and of course we used L-Tap. Let's see. What? Oh, that's cool. Blue now. What was that? Right. What are we looking for? We are looking for furniture. We're looking for this. There we go. These will give them a place to sleep. And with a little bit of luck, we can take this, close this, and do that. That way you can keep going. Who are you? All got new hope. That's cool. We have some gender access. Basically, it's not defined. There we go. Why not? Why the hell not? Let's see, we want to have a wash basin right here, and then we also want plumbing, an outhouse right here. There we go. Then we also want a way to allow all on this. There we go. Oops. Need to do that. We also want some water in this place. So that should work. Need an oxygen diffuser. Probably be placed here. Getting some power. Then diffuser. And we also want a battery and some wires. And we also want to dig this out. But the other thing we can actually do is get another wash basin right here, and then get like a musher. If we have enough metal, don't yet. Everyone gets a bed, that's good. I always build a floor at some point. For now we want water. The one thing that we will actually do is take this and make this into a floor. Not that, because there's no point in giving that a floor. What is happening? Okay. That is something. Need to look at that after the stream. So we want food. So that you cannot like place it, say like build this at some point. Dump everything full of oxygen. As well as make walls, I think 3 thick. Or at least plan ahead a little bit. Like this. So there can be like a door here and ladders on both sides. Those kind of things. So now we got a micro musher. Question is, should we give its own power or not? Guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to have like kind of a backup. How is your day been, by the way, Marty? Hopefully you have had a great day. I did. Or at least I was busy working. No. Happens. Need to do something to keep yourself fed. You just woke up. That's like, for you it's probably 9:30 now. Right? Are you not like an hour? Not exactly sure, it depends a little bit. Tomcraft. It is. You are GMT, well GMT. Do we actually use GMT nowadays or UTC? It's the same. I always learn GMT. GMT +1. Even though I've never thought about it, you know. Because like we have winter time, summertime. We're now on winter time with the GMT +1. You and GMT +2. If it is possible, I want to keep like the winter time. Like it's the original time actually. Like the before like people thought about daylight saving and that kind of stuff. Which makes sense to like most countries that are just above the middle of the earth, but not really to people that like live up in top of the world. Does that make sense? Around the poles, yeah. Yeah, it can. Also, that reminds me of like not long ago, I don't even know which country it was, but there was like a power shortage. I'm not exactly sure why it was like that. But what happened is like the UK runs on 50 Hz in terms of power and the EU runs on 60 Hz, and what happened is that there was not enough power, so it was just a little bit under the 60 Hz that needs to be like kept. So basically what happened is within a week of time, clocks that were actually on the grid ran behind for 15 minutes. That was like, well, that's a nice story, you know, like you read something like that in the news. But then I actually looked at my like clock that I actually have plugged into the grid, and I was like, so basically over the course of a week I've been getting out of bed later and later. Because like you don't really notice it until you actually get your phone, because your phone is just connected to, well, the internet, you know. And the internet is always right in that kind of sense. But it was kind of interesting, because normally you hear these kind of things, but now you actually see like, hey, it's true. Like, not every news outlet is lying. Hey, I'm not talking about controversial things. What are you saying? Talking about a fact, what happened. No, don't judge me. I guess you don't, but like... Let's actually dig this so that I can actually build some food. Loads of oxygen in here, max gas pressure. I don't either, but it's more of the part that you like, when you wake up most of the time you look at the clock and be like, what is the time? You know? And secretly I've just been like, looking at it. We should have those kind of clocks at work that are like radio controlled. At least on Wi-Fi or something like that, because some clocks at our work are like running 5 minutes in front or behind. So when you go for a break, it can happen that your break will be longer or shorter. Like it's only a 5-minute difference at most, so it's not that big of a deal, you know. You should probably just shift your sleeping schedule. Well, sleeping schedule is not even a schedule, your sleeping pattern, you know. Guess it would be a healthy choice as well to do that. Although, it depends on the person that you are. Like, some people are like morning people and some people are like evening people. But yeah, also the thing is, like, if you want to get something, it's better to go in the morning than in the evening, because probably in the evening everything will be sold. It leaves sport a calm green hue known to affiliate stress and improving morale. Nice. Oh, you could use a second inventory. Although I guess astral sorcery is like a little bit fiddly in that kind of sense. Because it is based on location and that kind of stuff, you actually need to find it. Although you could fly around secretly, you know, cheat a little bit. Make your life a little bit easier. You know. Or just wait till everything is built, basically. Boop boop. I could also be like a dick and just close the server at a certain point. And restart it automatically. Oh, you have a jetpack, so yes, it is useful. We place 2 of these right here. They're not nice, but we will like move them somewhere else at some point. Okay, so why? Wait. So you were saying that they are not making this because of this little piece of dirt? So you are basically emptying your cauldron because you are like not smart enough to use the exact ingredients in Thaumcraft. That's most of the time how you get flux anyway. Obtained, well, it's basically the same, you know. Thaumcraft is like amazing. It's one of those mods that have been Buildcraft as well. It's not in this mod pack. Nowadays it isn't really in any kind of mod pack, but Buildcraft and Thaumcraft. Is it because everything is called craft? No? I don't know what I'm saying at this point. As I ever do during streams. Yeah. The best way is to move like a long way from your base and to Thaumcraft there, but well, to be fair, you can, if you can fly around with your jetpack, you can make angel blocks. At least I got some in one of those loot chests. Yeah, you can actually build like a platform somewhere that is basically not in your main base. Which basically means that you won't flux your whole base. But I don't even know how to remove flux, that's the thing. I guess there are a few commands for that. Do we have rejuvenating missiles? ICBM, also one of those mods. Faults, basically. Faults mod pack. Yeah, there is a thing that you can get like an angel key. Basically your own little, I guess 16 by 16 blocks world. Or it's just one chunk, not exactly sure. But yeah, you can actually make dimensions as well. Yeah, compact machines. There was another mod. Deep Space Mine. Oh, it was a mod pack that like you could make like a frame, and that frame would be basically another dimension. But I don't know how that mod is called that like did that kind of stuff. But like I like to talk about these things because like there's nothing to do. They like don't fill the storage bins because like they have off time. Attack you. Or not. Let's not attack you. You are nice. You actually get more and then we can eat your flesh at some point. Of your siblings? Maybe? What is the best way to build in this game? Like that's the thing, you just build something and then at some point you're like, well shit, I built too small, too big actually. But I guess we will build like this, why not? That's actually true, like fees. There's a fees. Yeah. I was on cycle 127, but like that's also the thing. When you like play this game, you need to play it like regularly, like each day or each 2 days. Just once a week, then you actually know what you were doing and what your plan was. Otherwise you will just get confused. Confused? That's not a good word. Mush bar. Oh, they're filling it. Shut up. I most of the time play this at normal speed actually. Because that way you can just think about things and you can actually talk to people. You know, if something goes really fast, like at a certain point, like there's a certain point you reach in this game where it is more useful to be like in better speed, like medium or fast. Sometimes there's no point to it. So we have chlorine here, which actually will fall down. We have iron. Also, I never know if this is even a good idea to do. Also, one thing that I wonder, can we rotate doors like this? I actually can. Like I know you can with airlocks. I wondered. Because this way you can prevent creatures coming in. Why is it not be able to... That was weird. So it just disappears. If you zoom in too much, it disappears. Actually interesting. Oop. Cannot. Let's just try. I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Let's try this. The door is too wide and we want it to be wide this way. So later on we can like build one of those fire ladders on the yeah, cannot even look at the tab. What is this? Close. Thank you. What are you doing? You're actually filling everything. Night boss is on fire today. Well, to be fair, it says that message every 15 minutes? Every 20? Like I've been streaming for 28 minutes. This is played 2 times. Probably every 15 minutes. I had some other ones with links and that kind of stuff. But I removed that because like there was no point to it. You could actually make this a room by removing all the reds and placing them down again. Because that is logic. Don't even have ventilation. Yeah, why not? Oxygen and research. It's good for the brain, you can think better with enough oxygen. Enough oxygen generation. Well, we consumed it because like we are basically expanding our whole place. And that's the only reason, you know. I always thought that like these mush bars were made of algae instead of some dirt and water. It could basically be the equivalent to a dry piece of bread. Bread? Oh, I guess that is not nutritional either. Totally be a thing. Let's actually remove this. Let's dig this. And then be like, what the hell are we doing? We actually make some bets here. Probably make it a little bit bigger. A new duplicant. Oh, we have enough food. At least we can make enough. Let's choose a new one. We have some biohazardous people. We want, I guess, farming. Let's get the new one. Why not? New friend. Yes, it's true. This game is just basically slowly building out. Real slowly. New slave. Well, you could look at it like that, you know. These notifications. Stop. Just a bunch of emails, to be fair. Who steals a fucking wheelie bin? That's a good question. Who would be in the right mind to steal a wheelie bin? Also, wheelie bin is actually a nice word. Like a bin with wheels. Don't ask me why. Yeah. So let's get some furniture because we actually need another cot. Cot? Yeah. There we go. We now have a little room, which will be our bedroom. Needs barracks, which needs a few beds. Yeah. We also want an outhouse, kind of, but like we cannot build it here because we were a little bit stupid, I guess. So we can just put it here and like get rid of this one. You know, planning ahead, as I said. Plant a box, ration box, algae terrarium. Of course we got the water cooler and just the normal jobs, ventilation. Has this changed? I sometimes wonder what is changing. It bloody has. It has changed. Because before, like the second tier was also like better science. Like advanced science, and now it isn't. Like before it was like the second tier was this and the rest was like advanced science, which wasn't logical in itself. So basically it means that you can unlock some things faster that you actually need. Like most of the other things are just an upgrade. Like for example, airlocks is something you actually need in this game because like it's about oxygen not included. It's in the name, you know. Oh yeah. Clean toilet. Clean. Okay. Oh. Requires emptying. soon they will build this. Then I guess after that we will research how to make painting. How they put the painting? Like before the painting was here. Actually a cool thing. What is your age? Age 5. 25. My cloud is slowly dying. Just like my voice. There we go. At least you weren't deafened by that. This is actually a good thing. Well, you need like to use your ears. More difficult to make, you say? How do you know this? How are you smarter than me? What is this? Must be painted. But it has always needed to be painted, you know. Got 20,000 calories. Because of some muckroot. If they eat that, then it's gone. That's cool. Available. What schedule work? It's always a thing I ask myself about calories available, is that all the food that is stored is all the food that is just in the whole game. Yeah, true. I used those last time because last time I like they update like I guess every 6 weeks. Ooh, is this a new plant? Buddy bud. They added a lot of new flowers actually. Yeah, last time I played it just a little bit into the new stuff. Into the yeah words. What's so difficult? How are we with looks? Ah, there we go. That's also a thing, like this is to a certain point a really slow game. Whereby you shouldn't give them too much task, because at that point they won't like get rid of all the debris. Of course you can just say like get rid of everything that you will see right now. That will actually destroy how the base works. So I can get rid of these. Oop. You get the middle one. Well, kind of. This is the thing, there's never really a middle to an even number. If you are of course talking about whole numbers. Not like a part of it. The nice thing about starting again is that you can plan everything again and try new things. Also means that's even the nicest thing is that the game is actually running at 60 FPS. Instead of, well, let's say 45, 30 even. at some point. I don't know, there's a certain satisfaction to looking your base being busy without you doing anything. You have 2 outhouses. You can probably reconstruct this building. Move the sink. Reconstruct the sink, place a door. And have a latrine or something along those lines. Which is a washroom. It's a latrine. Yeah, but the overview in I guess, well, again, with Buildcraft, it was like a really, like it was like as fuck, but like it was a really visual kind of mod. Like immersive engineering is as well. It's a little bit different, but like having conveyor belts and that kind of stuff, like really, well, are nice. Yeah. Just making them go a little bit faster. Do I have enough food? That's good. Oxygen is slowly migrating up. Actually, get this bed assigned to you. And deconstruct these beds. Now we want to put medicine. That's one of the things that I always need to get used to in wash basins. Be in medicine. We don't actually need a massage table. We need a medical bed at some point, I guess. So it's complete. Nice. What did we want? I said was something kind of important. Do we need pumps? Oh, not yet. Do we need jobs? This jobs is better to get actually. That way they will work better, learn something. Even though getting a job in itself is not really a good thing. Because they will have like things they want to know. Downtime now. You can see that the pace in the base is like getting a lot slower. Let's deconstruct this building. Wait, since when can you close a window with right click? Bloody hell, I never knew that. Also there's like shortcuts for these, which I never use. Like G is digging, which I know now. I've been thinking about this more and more. It's just like using the Stream Deck for these kind of buttons. And I could basically do that by just getting all these icons, get the right key for it and just press those. That wouldn't actually be a bad idea. I've been thinking about that as well for like a boss space program, for example. At some point it would be nice to have like a second Stream Deck. They are expensive, like Elgato stuff is always expensive anyway. But it's also the only thing out there that is moderately good. like this green screen as well that is behind me, which you cannot actually see because it's a green screen, you know. But I can basically remove it. There you can actually see the white wall. It's actually amazing how it works. But I can just close this again. Like that kind of effect is just amazing. But it's also useful, like you can just throw it away and like not be bothered with it. You know. Not that you will actually like move it a lot. But it is useful that you can get rid of it. Like one thing as well is like the base is just doing fine, right? And I have a really long 3 meters? Is it 3 meters? I guess so. I got a really long headphone cable. Yeah, that's true. I changed it a little bit. But it's especially like these kind of corners that are here and like there. Especially on this side because the window that is in the roof is not exactly in the middle, or at least my desk is not exactly in the middle of the room. Basically what happens is that a lot of light is coming from that way. There's a shadow on this way. Also I'm using an action cam. The Sony... Well, it can record 4K. I can actually change it to 4K. Doesn't actually change anything. So like the input of the camera itself, or at least the input of the stream. But what happens with that is like it is 120 degrees of view. So there's a little like you can actually see it on the green screen itself. Like the green screen itself is just straight, but due to the fisheye effect, it's a little bit curved. So the thing that I actually need to do with this kind of camera is that it needs to be exactly in the middle. Otherwise my face will be like a little bit curved and distorted as well. You know. The thing... I should actually get sponsored by Elgato at this point. If I go to 4K, then you see like the 170 degrees view in itself. And now you can actually see the curvature. It's like really bad. I just have it on 120 degrees and that works as well. Also, if you're wondering, I have like a watch. It's a really expensive thing, you know. But heck, just get good stuff. And you never need to buy anything else again. You can also get cheap stuff, like you don't have the budget for it. But at that point you probably need to replace it at some point. So if you got money laying around, just like spend it on the thing that you really want to spend it on, you know. Also something that I want to show you last time is this amazing kind of effect, if it works. Not even any sure about it. It bloody works. Basically that, like normally when you are in a cinema? Movie theater? Doesn't really matter. But when you are there, then the film itself will be shot in a ratio of 1 to 2.35. Whereby normally your screen is like 16 by 9. Well, before that it was even 4:3, and all the other kind of things that you had on film and that kind of stuff. But this is like the kind of nice effect, especially for games like Skyrim, like the kind of cinematic games. It's also one thing that I always do, is I always go back to certain games. Basically, I always play the same games. It's not a bad thing, but like, never really play a lot of new games. Unless I have talked to the developer and they gave me a key for it, you know. 16:9. Yeah, it's not really a supported thing. Most of the time it will be like a little bit stretched. Like 21:9. 21:9? Is I guess a more accepted kind of range. But yeah, for like, I now have like a 4040p screen that I'm really like playing the game on. So basically switching to 4040p at any point, if Twitch and like supports it, then like I can just do it. Because basically what it does, it is downscaling the game itself. Not actually OBS, because that would like take not only a lot of memory, but also not really a lot of processing power, but a significant amount that can actually like let your game perform worse. Like Minecraft is incredibly old. I've been playing Minecraft for years. Even though I only have an account for not so many years. So don't ask me how I actually played it. No. Nowadays I just get so many games which I will never play. It's totally the whole other way around. Playing it for decades. How old is Minecraft even? Like 2012 I want to say, but it is even older than that. Could be more than 10 years. 2009? You can actually see that I am looking at the big screen. 2009, 17th of May. But that was the release, but does release mean actual release? Or does it mean that people could have access to it? Because nowadays if you're talking about release, then it can be as well early access for like 2 years. I haven't actually. So we got the jobs board, water cooler, and composting kind of thingy, planter box. And an algae terrarium. Isn't any game in its early stage? Well, I cannot actually say that because I've played an indie game, which was, but they already had experience with like a previous game, so they basically had not to say a template, but they knew what they were doing. So you know. So what we want to make is an area where we can be and run around and be like, hey, I guess we want to make a recreation room with some recreational buildings, which we should probably research. We can actually put it here. Be like this and this, this, and put the door. Best thing to do is like use as much room as you can. this game in essential. Can we just stop that? We just destroy it slowly with that. 22.2 degrees. For me that's actually hot. Or hot. Warm. Actually hot. Guess people from Australia would be complaining that it would be cold. Average, maybe. The thing that strikes me is that I don't know a lot about Estonia. I guess about most countries in the EU. Well, and is slowly falling and suffocating some people probably real soon. Yeah, you need to use a helmet. You want to stand there. Typical temperature. You should probably just do this first, otherwise you will just pee everything. There we go. Just bloody falling down. We got 4 construction, we have some farming, we have 8 learning. If she sets her mind to it. $16 degrees. I'm more of a night. That's actually stupid. I'm more of a like a 19 degrees person. It's actually a very specific kind of temperature. Actually stupid in itself. Like it's 20 degrees in here now. And 8.6 outside, but that is bullshit. Yes? Are we still alive? Suddenly the internet dropped, you know. Happens. I'll actually look browser's account and error while decoding the video. Happens. I'm still there. Well, it just like exploded. You didn't miss anything you said. Oh, that's actually a bad thing. What I was saying is... Well, I was talking about temperature. But that is just a very specific thing to people itself. Wait, you actually have access to the router? The access point? Put it out of order. Let's put this on 9. I actually bought a Switch. A 1 gigabit Switch with 8 ports, even though I'm only using 4 and probably ever will only use 4 max. Which I should probably have gotten a Switch that has actual power, like power over Ethernet, EOE. So I can at some point connect some cameras to it. But I especially bought it for these kind of things. Well, I've learned a lot in the years about just general computing, you know? Like printers and fax machines and, well, that's not actually true. Well, I was like, if you're talking about a port, like normally if you have a router, those has 4 switches as well, and like 1 for the internet itself, so it can put it out as Wi-Fi. And so I was looking at that and I was like, but a switch has only 8, but it needs to use 1 for the internet itself. It's just basically an interconnecting thing. I didn't, but I was like, I will probably use 4. And at that point you need a switch with 5 ports, even though most switches are 5 anyway. I was like, in the future maybe I want to connect more computers to it, which is probably won't happen at any point, but like the price difference wasn't really there, you know. You would be talking about a price difference of like 5 euros, so like what is 5 euros, you know, on something that you'll only buy once in itself. Or switches in general, like this switch was like 48 euros, which I don't find expensive for what it enables me to do. The one thing that you actually need to do at that point is just get 6 Ethernet cables. Because if you don't, then there's no point in having like a 1 gigabit switch. Which is actually a thing at our work, like basically everything at our work is running on computers basically. If like a computer stops, then you cannot even control the major amount of faults that are in like things. And what I don't understand is that the network at our work is still like 100 megabytes, and even at some places 10. I'm like, you know, think about it. Like, you're a company that is reliant on a really strong network. But I guess that's just a process of culture, like that people are actually learning why certain things are there and why people do certain things. Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Anyway. AD out of VDSL. What is the difference actually? VDSL, VDSL. Yeah, true. No, like the nice thing about our computers is, as they are like pre-built computers in itself, you can also add some extra cards to it. So basically, to upgrade every system at our work, it's just a basic thing of popping in another network switch card thing. That way they can just, but it's more about the cables. Like in the building there are like Cat5a cables. A Cat5e would even be sufficient. But at the moment they are like laying cables, and I've actually not looked at it. I should do tomorrow probably, if I can still see it, because like they are in like cages and that kind of stuff. If they are Cat6 or not. Like, I know the system that they are using these wires for is that it doesn't even need 100 megabytes. Could as well be 10. actually look at that. You know, why not? Like my brother has done that as well. And he actually bought Cat6 shielded cables. Because one thing that he actually did is like he had several cables next to each other. And though the interference won't be that much, especially in like your home, like the only people that would actually be on the internet most of the time don't even have like an internet cable in their PC, or at least most of the time you will use something wireless anyway. So having a good wireless option is always better. But he just got Cat6. Was like, yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but like you don't need to upgrade, and they like go behind the walls and that kind of stuff, and you don't want to like put new cables in at any point. Like I have like power cables as well. They are especially annoying because they are copper and they are like really stiff copper, you know, plastic around it. So if you touch it, you won't die directly. We have a copper cable actually, in terms of internet. We don't have glass fiber. Glass fiber? Fiber optics? Fiber optics probably. Though a lot of like companies and that kind of stuff are getting fiber, so the average consumer will probably have access to it soon enough. That's also something in terms of I don't even know the word for that, you know, in English. Like it's same with daylight saving. Kind of the concept of that is same with if you have like a good internet connection or just are wired in. Especially with companies, the flow of information will be fast as well, which in the end will mean that the amount of work you need to do will actually be less, and thereby you will save a lot of things. Not only money, but also like... yeah, it's hard to explain if you don't know the word for it. You know, we don't like number 2 till 5. Well, 2 till 5 is only 3 houses actually. Not even. Well, it depends. It would be 1 to 5. At least that will be the logic of... I don't know. What am I saying? What do we actually want? Air systems, electrolyzer. Which? Power regulation? Nah, maybe. No, we got... we actually need Cat6 cables. We have one in our house for years, even though we didn't even have like a network for it in itself. But we have 200 MBs down and 20 MBs up. And that for 65 euros a month. So in a sense our internet is expensive. But if you think about it, like copper, the copper cable can like carry a lot of data. Even though you wouldn't think it would be possible. Yeah. Like there's a lot of overhead on those kind of things. Because glass fiber most of the times isn't even logical in itself. In some cases. It's stupid, right? If the physical connection itself. That actually maxes out. Guys, the 1080p video will take an average of 2.5 MB per second. It's probably even more. Don't have any plans. What is this? Well, we'll look at that next time. As I need to go and sleep because early morning. Though, like I will stop working tomorrow at 11 AM. Because on Fridays we only work 6 hours. And I worked 1 more hour this week anyway, so I'm compensating that. So I only will work 5 hours tomorrow. Means that I can stream a lot again. As well as having a long weekend. Which is always actually nice. So yeah. Let's save for the first time. There we go. Yeah, let's just look at them walk around and stuff. So I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment and subscribe, as well as follow me on Twitch and Twitter if you haven't already. Also join me on Discord, look at my website and all that kind of lovely stuff. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time.